Greetings, everyone. This is Nick Estes with the Red Nation Podcast. We are excited to present an exclusive interview with Coleen Rowley, a retired FBI agent. Coleen is the first FBI agent close to the Leonard Peltier case to come forward in support of Leonard Peltier's clemency. And Leonard Peltier is the longest serving Indigenous political prisoner in the United States right now. This coming February 6th to be exact, Leonard Peltier will have spent 48 years in prison behind bars and incarcerated. This is an exclusive interview, and we are proud to present it to you. Our discussion ranges from Leonard Peltier's case and trial all the way to the present and the implications that the coercive, unconstitutional, unjust tactics of the FBI and the COINTELPRO era are very much alive and well today. The interview that Coleen and I conducted was one of the most wide-ranging and eye-opening interviews I've conducted over my career as a reporter, as somebody who's hosted this podcast, but also somebody who's been deeply involved and researched the Leonard Peltier case. I can't think of an FBI agent or somebody who's close to his case in terms of an investigative or a federal policing role that has come out with this kind of explosive insider view of the FBI. This interview is part of a series of interviews that we've done on the FBI's case against the Leonard Peltier, as well as the American Indian movement and their resistance to not only the surveillance systems of the United States and the political repression that they experience on behalf of the FBI, but also the attempts to tell a correct history of this time period. And this interview adds to the interviews that we've conducted, whether it's with Rachel Thunder, who led the March to Freedom, March to Justice, Leonard Peltier's March to Justice this last year in Washington, D.C., or the interviews that we have done with Jean Roach, who is a board member of the International Leonard Peltier Defense Committee and a survivor of the 1975 shootout. We've also included interviews with people such as Leonard Peltier's current attorney, Judge Kevin Sharp, or former Judge Kevin Sharp, who was appointed under the Obama administration. There's growing momentum right now around Leonard Peltier's clemency campaign. But I think in this moment in time, this political climate where we have mass FBI corporate surveillance of social movements and calls by the Freedom Caucus to implement what they're calling a new church committee, a new inquiry into the surveillance apparatuses of the United States federal government. This interview really sheds light on the long history, the long sordid history of the FBI within the last 50 years, and how the surveillance, disruption, and counterintelligence programs run against social movements like the Black Panthers, the American Indian movement, dovetailed into the war on terror and the policing of Muslim communities and the disruption of Muslim, community life here in the United States and elsewhere, as well as to the present moment in time in our current political polarization in this country around a far-right fascist movement, a really recalcitrant deep state, and the efforts to thwart efforts like the Standing Rock water protector movement, the George Floyd protest, and to redirect them back into establishment quo politics. This interview really sheds light on why social movements, why movements of progress and justice are continually thwarted by the United States government and the agents and the logic behind that kind of surveillance and policing. If you want to listen to the full episode, please subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/redmediapr. That's patreon.com/redmediapr to access the full interview. Otherwise, you can watch the entire interview for free on our YouTube channel. And I just want to thank everyone who supported the Red Nation podcast as well as Red Media in our ventures to tell the truth. We're also partnering with other outlets such as Mint Press News to get these stories out there. So thanks so much for subscribing, for supporting. Click like and share. Check out our other podcasts on the Leonard Peltier case if you want to learn more. And thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy this interview.